Hello again, Paul. I'm starting more or less where we left off last time. I should have put on the kind of before and after images so you can tell the difference. Um, at this kind of proximity or zoom level, things don't look too bad. But I think I'm going to have an attempt to use Photoshop instead. And to do that, I'm going to go over to the history panel here on the left and go to the point where I'd finished the original um, processing before we started any removal. There we are. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a virtual image at that point. And so that'll be the starting point now. And what we'll do, we'll now go up, go to photo, and it says edit in Photoshop. So the two programs are interwoven, and we can switch from one to the other. So what we're waiting for now is for that same image to load up in Photoshop. And there we are. So we're now in Photoshop CC. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take a copy of the layer so that, in fact, we got the original and a copy. And I'm going to work on the copy so that the original is preserved. We can always jump back using the history, but I would prefer to work on a copy. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom in over the offending cone. Then I'm going to select around it. This is going to be, as I said in the meeting, there are lots of different ways of selecting the image. Going around now and roughly selecting, and including what looks like a little bit of reflection until we got the whole of the cone. There we go. And I think I'm going to jump straight in and go to edit, and we go to content aware fill, which is the new version. There we are. It's having to think about it, and already looking at what we've got, I think that looks as though it is going to be better than what we did in Lightroom. Let's zoom in a bit. There you are. I don't think that looks too bad at all. Things that we perhaps, we might improve it if we the green, as I think I explained before, is the sampling area that Photoshop is using the pictures in that area to create a match up to the to create the new image, to replace the cones. It can help to remove those areas that aren't obviously you don't want to use. I mean, there's no leaves there. We're really conscious. We want to use just the wall. So let's just remove parts of the image that really are not applicable or need not be used. And it's working, getting slightly better. I'm quite happy really with that there, I think, at this stage. I think now what we can do is we'll say OK to that. Put it onto a separate layer, and then we'll combine the two layers and go to Layer, Merge Layers. Remove, select, deselect, and see how we can improve that. I think with the clone tool, I think we might just be able to improve it. We can try. That looks a bit large, so we'll reduce the size of the clone tool. That's more like it. I think we can replicate some of this and put it down to here. So if we click on a point there as our reference and then come down, you see what's happening? All right. I think we need to soften this junction here. So let's click on that and just do that. We've lost that a little bit. Now, how do we create this hinge, which looks as though it goes back a little further? What I'm going to do, I'm going to click on there and slightly go in there. Let's create a little more. Perhaps not too happy with this. I think we can do better. So we'll select that area there. Can you see in the circle? Don't worry about Richard Southey. He's an email just coming in. And we can go down and we've got a better defined edge to the stonework. Now I need to sort out this little bit underneath. And we'll click on that and come in. Can you see now? And then down a little bit. Perhaps just a little more on the step. Might define that a little better. And I think perhaps we're about there. Let's zoom back out. Sorry. Wrong button. There we go. I think that's fine. Reduce the file size. We'll delete this layer. So we've got now the original. We didn't need to recover anything. That doesn't look too bad. I'll click on File, Save. Here's saving process going on down here. Once, there we go. Okay. We can now go back to Lightroom. There we go. And we should have that image now done here. Now, okay, we haven't got the history, but at least we've now got that image. I can't compare it with the original. I can only do that by clicking on, I think, how can I do that? Yes, if I go to that one, and then we go right to the bottom, and then, okay, there's the original. And I clicked on the wrong one, I think. That must be it. There it is. Clicking on the wrong one. And that's the final. So from was it there? Was it? Yep. To there. Job much more easily done in Photoshop. So it's horses for courses. And again, there are lots of different ways of doing things even within Photoshop. Leave it there for now, Paul. I think now the final video, we'll have a quick look at Lizzie's image.